Please welcome for the last time to the State of the City, Mayor Cathy Noon.
So I have to tell you how much I enjoy having Tom Green as our MC. We've had a lot of fabulous MCs over the past 7 years, but Tom and I have a similar sense of humor, I believe. So since he's going to be out of a job and I'm going to be out of a job, this could be our new gig. You know, we'll just go out and start warming up crowds for whatever comes along. So keep me in mind. I'm here till the end of the year, but then I'm all yours. So I do want to thank everyone for being here today. It's amazing to see so many familiar, friendly faces. We have former council members out there. We have people I've served on boards and commissions with for years, and I'm going to thank a lot of people. But you're all very, very kind to come and help me in my last speech today. So, as Tom said, I'm really proud to report that things are once again really successful here in the city of Centennial. Our economic activity is thriving. We've got new buildings, businesses, homes underway. And our population actually grew this year, which is a little hard to do with that map, but it actually does happen. And we have more and more people that find our neighborhoods a great place to raise their families. Large and small businesses have both discovered Centennial. That's a great place for them to do business. So since it's the last day, I'm going to do a few thank yous who have made this journey possible and unforgettable. Now, I'm not going to be able to do everyone individually because I think there only might be the servers that would not have to be stand and applauded. So if you're doing it as a group, understand that it does not diminish how much we feel that you are important to us. We will start with our Rotary Club President, Randy Ernst, and our today's event committee, because we wouldn't be sitting here without all the work, and they put their heart and soul into this. And all those things they said they do, let me tell you the most fun thing they do. They run the beer tent at all the summer events here in Centennial. So don't let them think they don't have some fun. So my suggestion would be join Rotary, get an opportunity to see a lot of folks with beers in their hand. Certainly want to thank the Embassy Suites for hosting us all these years. It was so nice of them to remodel this for my last State of the City. So once again, appreciate that a whole lot. And I am going to recognize all those electives I talked about. So let's see. Let's say we've got a whole contingent from Arapahoe County. We have commissioners, assessor, sheriff. We got all kinds of folks. So Arapahoe County, give a wave. There you go. We even let a few Douglas County commissioners and folks come in, so we'll give them a hand as well. Thank you. We have our Cherry Creek and Littleton Public Schools folks, and we really do want to appreciate all you do to take care of our students, because we have great youth in our city, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them later, and I think you can take a lot of responsibility for that. So let's give a shout out to the school districts. I'm going to say thanks to some Aurora City Council folks. I think I have Greenwood Village here, so we really appreciate you all coming. And two mayors that are here who are my partners in crime on Metro Mayors. We have Jackie Millay of Lone Tree and Ron Rakowski from Greenwood Village. So thanks so much for being here, everyone. We've got some public safety partners, as I mentioned earlier. We have our sheriff, Dave Walsher, back there with his table full of bodyguards, so appreciate you being here. Our fire chiefs couldn't join us today. Let's hope that doesn't mean that there's a major fire somewhere, but we do want to thank Cunningham Fire Chief Jerry Rhodes, Chief Bob Baker from South Metro, and Littleton's Fire Chief Armstrong, because they certainly do so much, and in this already dry season that we've had, they've been a little bit busy. We also have a number of our special districts folks here, and once again, there's probably almost no one in this room that doesn't have some connection to a special district. So whether it's the library, water and sanitation districts, our metro districts, our parks, thank you all for what you do in our community. You are really you just make this a great place. So thanks to all those boards, all those special districts folks. So thank you. So a little closer back to home here, let's thank my city council, because they are really an awesome group to work with. District 1, we have Councilmember Cathy Turley. You can all stand up as I announce. We have Candace Moon, who I think couldn't end up joining us, but she sent her husband, who used to be sitting there, so he knows exactly what being a city councilman's like. And District 2, we have Carrie Penaloza, and we have Doris Trular, and Doris couldn't be with us today either, but I think Carrie's back there somewhere. There she is. And District 3, we have Ken Lucas and Mark Gatto, so we're excited that we're sitting in the middle of their district. And District 4, we have our Mayor Pro Tem this year, Stephanie Pico and CJ Whalen, and we are thrilled that they represent the east side of our community. We are in the process of a national recruitment for a new city manager. John Danielson left us at the end of last year, but I'm going to tell you that you would not know that we didn't have a city manager, because our staff at the City of Centennial under our acting city manager, Alicia Thomas, has been phenomenal. They are just amazing. There's so many of them here today. I want you all to give a shout out, and I really do want to know who has the lights and the door open back at City Hall, because a lot of you are here, but I'm really glad you're here for my last State of the City. So thanks to our staff. You all are phenomenal. Yay, staff. We also have our city attorney and deputy city attorney, so Bob Winder and Maureen Duran, and we're excited that they're with us today. That means they're not in court, so that's a good thing for the city. And then, of course, all of our contractors, who a number are table sponsors and major sponsors of this event, and we could not provide all the wonderful citizen services without CH2, TerraCare, Safe Build, Prima, you name it. They're just amazing. And they really do look as if they work for the city of Centennial, even though we don't write them a paycheck. So their culture is our culture, and we really appreciate that. And we certainly appreciate the terrific partnerships and collaboration with the Aurora Chamber, the South Metro Denver Chamber, and the Southeast Denver Economic Development Partnership, because you all really do provide us the backbone of what our businesses are thinking and how we can make this a really vital community. So thanks so much. And then one last big thank you, and that's going to be to all the families that support all of us and what we do. And especially there's one special person who's put up for this for 7 years. And honey, it's only 270 days to go until I'm back for dinner. So thanks so much to my husband, Jim, and I know many of your spouses and families think the same thing, so thanks, hon. All right, we're starting late. Got a lot to do. All right, hold on, everybody. Most of you remember that the core values of Centennial's formation were self-determination, intentional, inclusive, effective, and innovative government. Implementing and retaining those values doesn't just happen. It's a result of a roadmap laid out during our foundation and with modifications followed since. Please join me today on a Centennial journey, and only a small part of it will be stuck in traffic on Arapahoe Road. When I think about what makes a great community, Centennial has it. Great neighborhoods, a safe place to live, work, and play, the ability to get around, most days, to visit those unique businesses and places in our city. But most of all, we have great people here in Centennial. People like you who have taken the time to get involved in our schools, our churches, our HOAs, and in Rotary. People like you who came together to build our city and continue to provide feedback and help us prioritize the direction we should take. In 2016, Centennial's 4th citizen survey was completed, and our journey has some very direct stops as a result from that citizen input. That input, along with City Council's planning, led to many of the achievements and milestones that you'll be seeing today. So let's get on the road. Appropriate, we have a road theme. It seems logical that our journey starts with transportation, which remains a top priority for the city, the metro area, and the state of Colorado. Of course, construction's never fun. It always feels like it takes forever, but improvements to the infrastructure remain at the forefront of budget decisions locally and nationally. The citizen survey provided valuable feedback for Centennial, and with that, we tackled tough issues like ice and snow removal, street rehabilitation and traffic congestion. We've made choices to invest in our infrastructure with a number of major road projects and cleared the way for future economic development and initiatives like our fiber backbone. I'm going to explain that a little bit further, Tom, a little bit later. We're going to explain that. Regionally, we've been working with numerous partners on some transportation projects that will have a positive impact to the South Metro area. First off, let's start in 2016 with the successful completion of the reconstruction of the widening of 1.5 miles on Arapahoe Road between Waco and Himalaya. It went from 2 lanes to an interim 4 lanes with a 6-lane section on the east and west ends. It took almost 2 decades to get this project moving. And with the goal of enhanced safety and mobility, the traffic signals were replaced, several existing drainage outfalls were redesigned and reconstructed, and we overhead the electrical lines along the way, not only for safety, but for the improved look of this corridor as well. If any of you have been out there, I'd like you to thank the project partners that we had to make this a reality, because it was a team effort, so thanks so much. It's hard to miss the construction at Arapahoe and I-25 interchange, as we've talked about earlier, but the progress of this long-awaited project is definitely moving along, and it's supposed to be completed, don't hold me to this, but we hear next summer, so 2018. So not 3 years. So if Tom's back next year, he'll give you an update. Another construction ahead sign is C470 expansion project, building a managed toll lane from I-25 to Wadsworth Boulevard, as well as some auxiliary lanes. As the chair of the C470 Coalition, I'm happy to see that work underway and appreciate our regional partners, especially Douglas County, for their leadership and their hard work. Last year, a study was completed to consider short-term and long-term improvements to address the congestion at Dry Creek Road from Yosemite to Easter. There was public outreach and partnerships with Arapahoe County and the Southeast Public Improvement Metropolitan District, which helped guide the outcome. This year, Centennial is installing intelligent transportation systems for improved operations in that area, and there'll be other mobility options to follow. Recently, we celebrated a notable milestone relating to transportation. Centennial's Public Works Department, under CH2, became the first public-private partnership accredited in the U.S. This designation ensures the organization is transparent and offers opportunities to evaluate efficiencies and continuously look for ways to improve our service delivery. Our partnership with CH2 has showcased not only these qualities, but that smart contracts provide great service to our citizens. We hear that our streets are a high priority. Well, they are for City Council as well. Last year, the city allocated $8.6 million for street rehabilitation projects. Slightly more than 100 miles of that crazy map in Centennial was completed, and there are plans for over $10 million more of rehab in 2017. And the most recent citizen survey also revealed Centennial residents identified reduced traffic congestion as their #1 issue for the city. 40% of our residents on that, of the responders said that that was their #1 issue. So in addition to those major projects that we've already mentioned, the City Council increased the neighborhood traffic mitigation budget by 50% in 2017, which allows additional funds for implementation of traffic mitigation in neighborhoods with up to 4 per year. To further help with this congestion, we set aside $1.25 million for the first phase of the city's intelligent transportation system for the master planning. We'll install the travel time monitors, improve traffic signal detection, and connect all the traffic signals with the upgraded master system. It is a very exciting time for travel in Centennial. What else did they say about roads? Well, they also said the respondents ranked increased snow plowing and sidewalk snow removal as high priorities. So the City Council approved approximately $1 million in funding for the next 5 years to increase the level of snow removal service. With the addition of 5 snowplows, the Priority 1 and Priority streets can now be plowed simultaneously. We also increased the arterial sidewalk shoveling, and we had a very dramatic result. There's been almost no snow this year, so you can thank us. When is the last time that you used a paper map? Road maps have gone high-tech, and Centennial wants to be a leader. We're moving forward with the city's $5.7 million fiber master plan, implementing a fiber backbone along major corridors throughout the city. The construction of the fiber backbone is underway and expected to be complete in 2018 and will make fiber available to key city sites and other community anchor institutions, such as our fire districts, the sheriff's office, the schools, libraries, and so on. This backbone will enable both existing and new broadband providers to tie into the new infrastructure with the goal of providing better and more competitive choices and broadband services for Centennial consumers. To enhance flexibility and accountability with this project, the City Council created a fiber commission to oversee Centennial Fiber Works. That's the program that's administering the implementation of this backbone. This newly formed commission will consist of 3 council members of City Council, C.J. Whalen, Stephanie Pico, and Ken Lucas, and we'll have 2 citizens join their group very shortly. So watch for those applications if you want to get in on fiber. Mr. Green, you're not eligible. I don't think you live in the city of Centennial, so sorry. Disappointing there, I know. So Governing Magazine recognized Centennial as America's most internet-connected city, which leads me to believe that access to high-capacity, affordable internet is a key economic driver in today's economy and a necessity for business productivity, attraction, and retention. So residents and business tell us that even though we're connected, we want it faster and more affordable, which may explain why the telecommunications providers that are currently in the city are also expanding throughout our city. So Centennial's looking to continue to live up to those founding principles of being efficient and innovative. While traveling in the city, you'll notice we're experiencing a construction boom, transforming undeveloped areas of Centennial, bringing more jobs and a wider variety of shopping, dining, and service options to the area. The Opus Group celebrated the groundbreaking of the Glen, named after the late cable pioneer, Glenn Jones. This multi-family building is within the Jones District and will feature retail spaces on the ground floor and is scheduled to be complete this year. Other major projects include the multifaceted Inova at Dry Creek, a mixed-use campus that will feature 695,000 square feet of offices, industrial space, and residential components. Moving east, there's a 150,000 square foot industrial building being developed as part of Encompass Business Park. The development will occur on the 64 acres of land on the east side of Potomac between Arapahoe and Fremont Avenue. Business growth in Centennial is something Comcast is familiar with in this last year. They've moved their Western Regional headquarters to the former Schwab campus near I-25 in Dry Creek and expanded existing data center and broadcast facility at Dry Creek in Colorado. If that wasn't enough, they've agreed to lease the entire Inova 2 building for a new customer call center. Businesses wanting to stay and expand in our city is something we're very proud of and certainly don't take for granted. The city's Community Development Department has also been busy processing applications for new hotels, restaurants, and homes. There are 8 hotels currently under construction or going through the development process currently. And for a city that doesn't have a lot of vacant land, we look forward to welcoming a variety of residential-type projects to the city. The perks of your road trip are the stops you make along the way, and Centennial added some great places this year. Here's a few points of interest. Snowbond, which is an indoor skiing and snowboarding training center, opened in the streets at South Glen, along with Saj Mediterranean Grill, Ross, and Marshall's. The Clue Room, a live escape game promoting teamwork, they added a second location within the city. We also welcome Centura Health, a new Kia dealership, which will be opening very soon, and a variety of restaurants and industries. In 2016, the city annexed about 30 acres of commercial land, which includes the retail center at the southeast corner of Arapahoe and Lima, as well as vacant land directly east of Walmart. We also annexed residential areas at Broncos Parkway and Jordan Road and south to the County Line Road. The city leaders and Centennial's economic development team, while gathering input from business owners and nearby residents, continue to encourage revitalization of older shopping centers, giving them fresh aesthetic appeal and reshaping those underutilized areas. Property owners aren't just getting permits for new buildings, they're looking for tenant finish and making improvements to their property, thereby reinvesting in our community. With all of this activity, our neighborhoods and businesses continue to remain stable. In the last 6 months, Centennial was recognized as having the second healthiest housing market in Colorado, as the most family-friendly city in Colorado, and as the best city in Colorado for first-time home buyers. I'd say we're on the right track. So last year, we completed the Arapahoe Road Retail Corridor Study, which examined existing retail conditions of Arapahoe Road, which is our main street. Some outcomes of the study included recommendations for retaining and expanding quality retail along the Arapahoe Road corridor between Quebec and Parker, and to revise some of the restrictions that were in place since 2005 and replace it with a new ordinance. Well, this new ordinance resulted in a referendum petition to repeal parts of that ordinance, which was a first for our city. Of course, it's the right of our citizens to challenge decisions made by their city council. We certainly are not afraid to tell our elected officials what we think. But we've always been passionate about what goes on in Centennial, and in the end, a mutually accepted outcome was achieved while avoiding the cost of a special election. The initial ordinance was repealed, and council approved 2 ordinances with items that were not part of the referendum process. Also, an ordinance allowing a small change to the Land Development Code to permit a drive-through restaurant at the corner of Arapahoe and Havana was approved. Centennial government listens. You also may remember in 2014 that Centennial was selected as one of the 12 U.S. cities to participate in the 3-year, $1.5 million grant from Bloomberg Philanthropies Innovation Team program. That program aims to improve the capacity of cities to effectively change and implement new approaches that improve citizens' lives. I hope most of you have heard of Go Centennial. It was a 6-month pilot program initiated by the Centennial Innovation Team and the Denver South TMA. We partnered with Lyft, Xerox, and Via to help remedy the first and last mile challenge of getting to and from transit stations versus the traditional call and ride service. Centennial and the Denver South TMA fully subsidized Lyft line rides for the 6 months for commuters traveling to or from the light rail station at Dry Creek. This innovative first-of-its-kind project served as a model for transit systems throughout the nation, and we received worldwide media attention and continue to receive inquiries from cities and transit agencies across the U.S. Go Centennial resulted in slightly more than 1,300 total rides, and 70% of those riders used the program more than once. Ridership remained stable at the RTD Call and Ride, which shows that new light rail riders were enticed through Go Centennial. We'd love to see the program continue and are seeking organizations with whom we can partner to administer a program similar to Go Centennial. And I'd like to thank our I-Team and our City Council for getting behind something that's a little bit different and out of the norm. But once again, that innovation has paid off in a great idea that others want to copy. With Go Centennial being put on the map, worldwide map, we were selected to join Transportation for America's Smart Cities. It's a group that's going to explore how technology can improve urban mobility. This is a wonderful opportunity to share ideas and lessons learned about projects with other innovative cities and to help plan for and overcome challenges we all face. Last year, while the I-Team was gathering data and deciding how to improve that mobility throughout the city, our Senior Commission created the Mobility Ambassador Program, or MAP. This program is to help seniors understand and use a variety of transportation options. The Senior Commission and the I-Team coordinated trainings throughout the city to help seniors learn how to ride the light rail, use ride-sharing services, and use technology to navigate transportation routes. More than 150 people have been trained by our Senior Commission to better utilize public transportation options and how to use ride-sharing technology. The Senior Commissioner Ambassadors also provided 20 seniors and their caregivers with personal assistance in booking and taking their first Lyft or Uber ride. So I'm really proud of our group of seniors because they embrace technology and are sharing it with the younger and less techie people like myself. So thank you all. So next up, the I-Teams decided to tackle another challenge facing the city. As we enter the final year of this Bloomberg grant, the I-Team will focus on something near and dear to my heart, and that is identifying solutions to help Centennial seniors remain in our community. As our senior population continues to grow, so does the need for senior housing in our city. A number of citizens have shared that they feel there are housing gaps, especially for multifamily and senior housing options. That means not a lot of stairs, which we have a lot of in our city. The city's senior population is expected to be 17.3% higher than the national average in 2030. And it's important for us to be planning now, as 2030 will be here before we know it. Along your journey, it's always smart to update your map as conditions change. Following plenty of outreach, this year we will be approving 2 master plans. Centennial Next is our update to the 2004 Comprehensive Plan that will ensure the community's values are reflected in the city's vision for development between now and 2030. The plan will identify land uses and trends that may affect Centennial in the future, specifically areas of the city that have yet to be developed or may warrant redevelopment. The goal of Centennial Next is to promote quality of life, sense of community, economic vitality, and support infrastructure and responsible government that leaves a legacy or that new roadmap for future generations. The other master plan is a lot more fun. It's the Trails and Recreation Plan. It's an update to our 2007 plan where the vast majority of the projects that were identified have been completed. So the timing seemed right to coordinate both of these plans simultaneously. Also, while gathering the public input for the Centennial Next, citizens were asked what they love about Centennial. Well, parks and open space consistently remained at the top of everyone's list. We look forward to identifying opportunities and strategies to implement within our network of parks, open space, trails, and recreation in coordination with South Suburban Parks and Rec, Arapahoe Parks and Recreation District, and Arapahoe County, among many others. Speaking of some of those others, the city has a neighborhood parks program where the city awarded the Smoky Hill Metro District funds for improvement and sidewalk connections for the district's parks. In addition, City Council provided funding to the Cherry Creek School District for shade structures at 4 elementary schools and to Littleton Public Schools to make playground improvements at Hopkins Elementary. Construction will take place this year and next, provide a wonderful place for not only those students, but those that live in the communities around those schools. Of course, the city-owned Centennial Center Park continues to draw visitors from throughout Colorado. It definitely has not lost its flair and remains a scenic attraction to check out while you're on your journey. The city is in the process of constructing additional restrooms and changing areas, also important on a trip. And thanks to the Centennial Senior Commission and the Open Space Advisory Board for advocating to add 5 new shade structures, 8 new benches, and 5 accessibility signs to enhance the outdoor experience, making it easier for all ages and abilities to get around. All of these improvements will be complete by summer. Speaking of Centennial Center Park, we continue to host spectacular community events in the amphitheater, and attendance continues to increase each and every year. Last year was a summer of first for some of our events. We were honored to kick off the summer with the Air Force Falconeers concert. We also hosted a new series of outdoor music and happy hours called Savor Centennial. We added a brew in queue, held our first car show, a national night out event with our Arapahoe Sheriff's Department, and we hosted our own 2-day chalk art festival. The Centennial Under the Stars event had a record crowd in 2016, and one of my personal favorites, the holiday lighting celebration, added a ballet performance of the Nutcracker. But of course, we also enjoyed those performances by our 6 school choirs and Santa helping us turn on the holiday lights in the park. Last summer in the park, we were also lucky enough to host a special children's ceremony where the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services presented citizenship certificates to 29 children ages 7 to 14. This ceremony recognized children who obtained citizenship through their parents. They are originally from 18 different countries, and it was truly an honor to be in their company and celebrate their excitement at becoming U.S. citizens. In case you haven't noticed, interacting with children is one of my favorite parts of being mayor. They pretty much keep things in perspective and typically have some good feedback of what's important to them in the city. This year, our staff went out to a number of schools, and I had an opportunity to do elementary schools and scout troops within the city. And I don't know who enjoys these visits more, us or those kids. And one particular one this year was absolutely adorable. I go to Peabody Elementary School every year to speak to their 3rd graders about local government. Don't worry, Cherry Creek, I go to Creekside, and Trails West, I go there as well. But this particular event happened at Peabody. So the principal greeted me at the door and told me that of her interaction that morning with a 3rd grader who was very excited for my visit. He told Mrs. Jones that he was so excited because the Queen of Centennial was coming that day. Well, I hope he wasn't disappointed when a mere mayor showed up in her minivan. But they just have such a great perspective on how government works and what things are, and why don't I have Secret Service and all the things that when they think of government. But then they come down and they tell me they want zip lines at the park, and they have all kinds of great ideas that not only our staff but our city attorney probably doesn't want us to do in our parks. But one day they might get that zip line, who knows. So with that, it's always the people you meet on a journey that enrich what you see. Councilmember Whalen and I are honorary co-commanders to the Air Reserve Personnel Center at Buckley Air Force Base, and we are fortunate to learn more about the important work of our military. This year, we were honored to attend the promotion ceremony of Brigadier General Ellen Moore, and she couldn't be with us today, but we have her next in command with us today, so we're happy to have Buckley represented. And we also get to have a little fun, because you cannot beat a helicopter tour of Denver. I think Mr. Whalen, who is a car guy, pretty much had a good time. Yeah, it was great. And then last year, Greenwood Village Mayor Ron Rakowski and I had the opportunity to visit China on behalf of the Denver South Economic Development Partnership, and our goal was to promote public-private partnerships. It was an honor to represent the South Metro area across the globe, celebrate our innovative successes, and meet mayors from around the world. And you'd be surprised how much you can have in common with a mayor from Perth, Australia, or Greece, or Paris. It was just a fascinating experience. And we had some interesting food, by the way, too. Back home, our boards and commissions continue to provide effective feedback to the city, and they play an integral role in making Centennial the successful community it is today. In addition to those items I previously mentioned that the Centennial Senior Commission was doing, they increased their outreach opportunities throughout this year. If you haven't seen them, you're just not all over town, because they volunteered at the TLC Meals on Wheels, Project Cured. They interviewed 20 veterans to include their stories on our city's veteran webpage, hosted a senior job fair, and shared senior resources at HOA meetings and senior fairs. They also participated with the Arapahoe Library District to host events promoting senior programs, and as you heard, also the Prime Timers group that they helped launch. And they give those seniors that opportunity to meet people in the community and have some fun. So as you heard, they have game days, they have guest speakers at luncheons, happy hours, theater outings, and a lot more. And I hear they like a senior center in the city. We need a public-private partnership for that. Yeah, see, the Senior Commission's with me on that. Well, the other end of the spectrum's been busy as well, because our Youth Commission was out and about. They sat as magistrates on 20 teen court panels in 2016. The approach of our teen court allows local teens the opportunity to learn from their curfew or tobacco violations and earn the chance to have their infractions removed from their records. And then during the city's summer events, the Youth Commission raised funds to help students with disabilities and their families attend Adams Camp, a locally based nonprofit, and awarded scholarships to college scholarships to deserving Centennial teens. And just a few weeks ago, the Youth Commission received the Leading by Example Award from Arapahoe Douglas Works for their partnership in hosting a job fair for the area youth last year. This fair hosted 19 different employers, 95 job seekers came, and they resulted in a 51% hire rate. So if you're looking for Centennial's future, you follow the path of our youth and things look great. So I love our Youth Commission. They've done a fabulous job, and I think our first city council that put that into effect has done a fabulous job, and they've really grown, and they are so active now. So thanks so much to our youth and senior commissions. Not to say we don't love our planning commission and our election commission and all the others, but these two are out in the community even more. So are you planning a journey? Well, there's a few new sections on our website that may be of interest to you. We've enhanced our online mapping tools and included video tutorials showing current development projects, the neighborhoods, parks, and roads, and we continue to add online services to make it easier to do business with the city. Last year, we implemented an easy way for residents to discover the businesses that call Centennial home by creating an interactive virtual tour of local breweries and one for independent coffee shops that should be debuting soon. We also launched an online business directory known as Explore Centennial. Centennial businesses can create a free account and expand their business profile to become more visible to the community. This site is a great resource for our business community and our residents. We believe you should shop local. The city's grown its social media presence considerably this last year. If you'd like to know the latest about our journey, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, and of course the ever-popular Nextdoor. Being engaged not only helps us help you and you help us, but you might even find a ways to have a little fun too, so we hope you'll check out our website. That fun starts next weekend as we host our first Earth Day celebration, focused on gardening. Of course, the event's on Earth Day, April 22nd, and it's at Centennial Center Park from 10 to 2. There'll be many garden-themed activities throughout the day, and once again, our partners CH2M and TerraCare will be there, providing lots of fun. We have an exciting summer season of events as well, including concerts, movies in the park, children's entertainment, and some unique signature events, such as that second Brew and Q. Notice we have a brew theme going on in our city. Centennial Under the Stars will be in August, of course, and the popular Chalk Art Festival is in September. We are also proud to be co-hosting events this summer with the Arapahoe Library District, the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office, and our Senior Commission. All three of our fire districts are going to participate in our summer safety demos at the kickoff concert on June 3rd. So looking at the road ahead, we continue to plan for the future. In the coming months, Council will adopt the new comprehensive plan and Trails Recreation Plan. We will continue to examine how we do business, what our community should look like, how our neighborhoods can maintain or improve their appeal, and how we can keep our families and property safe and protected. There are some big considerations for Centennial's future leadership. Hiring a new city manager is underway, and in November, citizens will be electing a new mayor and 4 council members, 1 from each of our 4 districts. Many on our city council are eager to serve again, but District 3 Councilmember Mark Gatto has decided not to run for re-election. Therefore, I'd like to thank him today for his service. Councilmember Gatto is definitely leaving his mark on Centennial. A few that come to mind were his leadership in revising the ordinance to allow certain fireworks in the city, and working with our Sheriff and Public Works Department on changing speed limits in certain areas. And we don't mean down, we mean up. He always represented the city in a positive light and brought some much appreciated humor. I enjoyed working with you these past years, and I know the rest of council and our staff did as well. You'll be missed, and we thank you for your service. Well, for me, a Centennial journey is coming to an end. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve as mayor of our community for 8 years. Sorry, I thought I was going to be happy that the last one of these was over. So I'm proud to have been part of this amazing journey, and even prouder that we are creating a new roadmap for future generations to enjoy living, working, and playing here. Thank you so much for this opportunity and for joining us here today. It's been wonderful. Thanks.